Okay, so we're continuing our journey from the last time where we went across the river. We saw a snake skin and some beautiful exoskeletons and just beautiful, beautiful cicadas. And we were looking at the microscope. I still have Ibu Cynthia, field scientist with me, and Pak Arta on the microscope, and we're gonna actually now take you into the rice fields. There's so many mosquitoes here. In the last session we had to stop. There was mud, we were slipping, and we just had to pause for a moment. So here we go. I will be leading this expedition onto the rice fields. Let's go! Goodness, it is so wet. It's been raining a lot. Oh, the cameraman is literally falling over. I'm crawling up on my hands and my knees. Oh, I'm so slippery. Oh. Whoa. Take a look around. What? This is amazing. This is really, really so special and so beautiful, and I'm so excited that you're with us here today, because we're on a special mission here in the Sawa, in the rice fields today, and our mission is to catch snails. So I hope that you guys can help us catch some snails, and before we do that, I want to quickly explain how this works. All of these terraces are being farmed by the farmers, and they plant their rice. But the water comes from a water system that's called the subak. And the subak is all about fair share, making sure that all the farmers have water at the right time in their schedule to plant their rice. So you can see, actually a week ago, this was so dry, like totally dry. And now it's time for this farmer to plant his rice. So you'll see one of the farmers working up there in his rice fields. And what he is doing is he's preparing all of this land to plant his rice. But there's a challenge to the farmers from nature. And that challenge is that when they plant their rice, 2 out of many, in the first phase, creatures from nature makes their life a little bit challenging. One is the crabs, because the crabs come and they make holes, right? Ibu Cynthia, have you seen that before? Yeah, from when you were a little child?
Yes, they make a hole over the wall, and that make the wall easy to break. And usually the farmer close the wall
to retain the water.
Yeah, to retain the water. But the crab make the hole that make the water come through. And then
this is actually so funny. So the crabs come and they make holes into these walls. The water comes out. One, the whole terrace system collapses, and 2, all the water gets lost. But then the second thing is the snails. And the snails come and they eat all the baby seedlings. Oh my gosh. So something that is really cool is that snails can be a very valuable source of nutrition. So you can eat them. And that's part of our mission today, is to collect some snails and take you guys through a culinary journey of how to cook snails. And that's something that we can do to, 1, be place-based, be local, focus on SDG 2, zero hunger, and actually say we can be part of a solution by, for example, using a challenge like the snails and using them as a source of food. So let's go on a bit of a walk. I also want to put some of them, because there's many here, put some of them under the microscope. Maybe Arta, if you want to have our microscope ready here. I see quite a few snails. I do think these 2 are mating, and you'll see this is really interesting. They have almost like a clam and a clamp that looks like a clam in the front of their shell, because what they do, they totally shut themselves off. and they can protect themselves. This is part of their adaptation to stay safe. So even when I keep on touching here, the snail will close up, close up, close up, and it's quite a mission to get them open again. Oh, look here. They can give you a fright, and you can see, look, if you come closer, slowly, slowly, do you see how they are closing up? I'm just touching the radula like that, and it's closing up because it's sensing that, hey, hang on a minute, this is not safe. This is not somebody who is going to be friendly. And look, it's just gone right in. And there the snail has protected itself, and it's all nicely tucked away. So let's come here and let's have a look under the microscope. Oh my goodness, that's really cool. Let's see the backlight. Maybe we'll turn a little bit to the side. I think that's another interesting thing about being a scientist and being in nature, is that you have so many interesting challenges. I'm gonna clean it off here. Okay, and let's go up for a little bit of perspective. Let's see. And let's zoom into the snail. Let's see, maybe we'll see some patterns. Maybe we'll see something interesting, something else. We're just looking at the snail from under the microscope. Oh, look, right at the edge. So cool. And then of course where he just closed himself off. Really, really epic. Okay, I'm going to put this guy to the side. And Cynthia already has a few snails here. Oh, there's another one. And I can even feel them like digging. Oh, look, 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 it's closing, it's closing, it's closing. So it literally, I can just open it up. Whoa, look at the snail poop. Please, snail. I'm like feeling it's resisting, but it's very gentle. And I don't know if you can see, but right here at the top, it has so many snail poop. It's okay, I'm really gentle. And the snail can feel, as soon as I'm gentle, the snail releases. And actually when I am having a little bit of resistance back, maybe you can zoom a bit for me. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Ooh, nice. You can see this. Look at it move. Look at that. It's just, whoa, look at the movement. I'll try and come down a bit. This is so beautiful. And again, the snail can feel, just in the way that I'm holding it, that I'm not trying to hurt it. And if you, oh, so beautiful, guys. Look at how he's trying to sense and feel. And look at his face emerging. Can you see here? Oh, look at that. Here's the front. If you come down right here at the bottom, he's walking onto my finger. And he's trying to figure out, what is this? I haven't felt a finger in the rice fields before. And again, like, whoa, look on the microscope. Have his whole face there, moving, contracting. And if you come down here again, look how he's moving. He's propelling himself forward with his shell. The shell's going backwards and then forwards. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And look at that. And just slowly he's making his way, knowing that I am definitely not someone from the rice fields. But this finger is not something that he's tasted before. Let's go underneath again one more time. Oh, look at that on the microscope. Look at that movement. It's really beautiful and it's so gracious. And you can just see all he's trying to do, or all she's trying to do, all that the snail is trying to do is to figure out something that I can see is right behind the head of the snail, and it's a bit difficult to capture that. I can see a whole, oh, there. It looks like an eye. I can see a whole network in there, like veins, and look at that. It almost looks like a brain at the back. So cool. Wow, look at that. And you can just see how far the snail is expanding its neck to try and get out. So, Mr. Snail, you are one remarkable creature, I tell you. So beautiful. Although you can bring a lot of devastation. So I'm going to put you there. Okay, so let's go for a little bit of a walk, see how many snails we can get. And yeah, I'm going to go this way, go through the rice fields. Let's get some snails, make some snail satay. So these snails, it's also very interesting. I think if we go to some of the parts where there is rice, you will see how they lay their eggs. They're very different from the snails that we explored in one of our earlier sessions. They're different from a garden snail because they don't lay their eggs separately. Yeah, like the ones we had. So here, I also have some. That's a good find, Ibu. I'm gonna step down one step here. So, and if you look at one of our previous videos where we were talking about garden snails, you would have seen that they had almost like small baby chicken eggs, little singular separate eggs with a hard shell. But if you come closer, and this is quite fascinating, and I think we'll get the microscope back here again. Thanks, Arta. Maybe, we can use it like that. I'm just gonna use a clean side of my hand just to clean off there a little bit. So here you go. These guys, these snails in the sawa, in the rice fields, they lay their eggs in clusters like this. They almost look like raspberries. Come a bit closer. It's really fascinating. And they can lay up to, I don't know, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 eggs at a time. So many. And you can imagine that with a population of snails growing that fast, they can be quite destructive. So let's have a look. Oh, that is so cool. Let's have a look under here, under the microscope. Whoa, look at that. Look at that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hexagon. They look like hexagons that comes together. That's interesting. It almost reminds me of a beehive. There's something I think really interesting in this pattern of how these snail eggs are clustered together. And it makes them actually a very strong cluster, a strong system. Strong, they can bond together very well. And even when I feel them, they're not soft, they're hard. And each one of those little bubbles, each one of these little eggs, I mean, the fascinating thing is, it has a snail baby inside. Each one of these bubbles will become a snail. So even when I look at this with you guys, I have to remind myself that each one of these, let's just see what's happening to the microscope. Okay, each one of these, I can just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, about 25 just on this screen. 25. And actually when I look at it here, there's way more than 25. There, I would say there's about 500, maybe 300 snail babies inside here. That's crazy. So imagine that just comes from one snail. And Cynthia, you have how many snails there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 snails.
So if each one of those snails only laid 100 eggs, that would have already been 700 snail babies. That's crazy. Let's go a little bit to the edge and see what else we can find. See how many more snails. I think if we try to find 20 snails, that'll be good. I'm gonna try and walk through here. Where's the big snail? Oi, look here. This is really cool because that's what they do, right? They find some pieces of grass and they cluster onto the grass. That's like such a beautiful, beautiful example. Even if you come from this side and you change your perspective. So come this side, guys. Whoa, I have short boots. I must be careful to wear if I go too deep. Look here. So beautiful. Let's take a very close look here. Maybe come all the way here and have a look. Okay, I know it's like wet and slippery, but let's come right in here. And just look at that. So beautiful. Of course, there are other things that you can find also. Here's an example of what happens with the crabs. So you guys can see here, the crabs make holes, and of course now the top rice field, its water is flowing through here, and basically what the farmer then has to do is come back and fill up these holes everywhere. Oh, big insect that came out. And they have to come and basically, yeah, do a lot of maintenance in all of these rice fields. That's a lot of work. Oh, let's get up. Let's see what else we can find. So, normally what happens is that the birds in this area will catch the crabs and they will eat them. But another challenge is that humans come and three things happen. One, they catch the birds and they sell them at the bird market. So they remove them, which means there are less birds to catch the snails. Two, because of pesticides and chemicals that are being used in farming, some of the birds get sick and they die. And then lastly, well, the birds migrate. They leave these areas because of so much building and human action that happens in these areas. And all of this actually disturbs the ecosystem. So I think it's so epic that you guys are actually watching these sessions because it makes you aware. It brings your attention to why it's so important for us to look after the earth, to look after our animals, to look after the plants, the people, the environment, and just make better choices. So we're almost going to wrap up this one. I just want to go a little bit further. We're almost at 20 snails. Am I right, Bu Cynthia? Almost at 20 snails. Again, you might find some eels and other fish and frogs and of course snakes here in the Sawa, in the rice fields. It's really such a beautiful, beautiful place. You can just like feel the breeze. It's just so beautiful. I'm really grateful standing here. And if you look way out to the back, you'll see some trees far, far away, almost like on the horizon. And that's open flow. That's where we are from. That's where we learn to be scientists. That's where we discuss nature with other people. I'm gonna go here through the reeds. Maybe we'll find some cool insects here. Oh, come closer. I am telling you, this is the beauty of nature. If you go slow, and this is my last tip for today. You can come right here from the front. Go here the front. If you go slow in nature, and if you are prepared to stop, look, and listen, you will find amazing things, like all these snails and plants are so interesting. And I found here a nest, a cocoon. And I'm wondering if it is from an insect. I'm wondering if it's possibly from frogs. I am really curious about this. And we will let you guys know who this is from and what this is from I remember seeing this as a young little girl on my mom's farm, and it's basically foam that's become dry and something is inside there. It's really, really cool, right? So I think that's a good place to stop for today and to invite you guys back to our next session where we're gonna be discussing these snails. Actually, have a look here before we go. Look at this guy's face. Oh, look at those colors. Really, really, really epic. And we will put some of these snails into our breeding tank at the learning center, and we hope that through these sessions you'll become more curious, you'll become more excited, and of course the most important thing, we hope that you become more aware about the beautiful environment, whether you are in the concrete jungle or in the natural jungle. No worries, it doesn't matter, there's always something exciting to find. See you in the next episode. Bye!
Hi, it's Peter Nicolene from Tamed and Untamed Studio.
As usual, if you enjoyed our content, give us a shout out so that we can create especially what you would like to see next.
And don't forget to leave a comment below.